Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. Thank
Where
you
the
so much.
bloody hell are you?
I'm in the dungeon.
The beer dungeon.
Oh yes, yes. Yes, my lovely little Camel. Which, funny enough, it started with my obsession with you. Not you
Not me
personally.
personally. Yeah.
I, I
We've
didn't get
spoken
chance to
about
put your
that.
face on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank
I'm
you
just
so
going to
much.
close the door.
No worries.
Dog just came in. Oh,
So, thank you so much for joining us on Virtual Pub Club.
pleasure.
So, we're going as is tradition. I'm going to start by asking, who the bloody hell are you?
Who the hell am I? My name's Adam. I'm one of the founders of Verdant. That's it, really, isn't it? That's who I am. Apart from that, I'm just locked in this house.
How are you finding things?
Um, I'll be honest, I haven't really stopped. Um, the brewery's a 5 minute walk from my house, so I'm there every day. And no, we did furlough people for 3 weeks, but we're pretty much back at it now. It's yeah, it's pretty much the same as it was about 8 weeks ago now. But it changes daily.
Yeah.
It's an hourly struggle, really. Like fires just seem to ignite, and we have to put them out and carry on.
Well, I saw the seafood bars back up for takeaways now as well.
I think my food has just arrived.
Oh, bargain.
Yeah, so yeah, making the most of that. Yeah, I thought, you know, it's pointless having it sat there closed. There's a need for it as long as we can manage the social distancing. It's never going to reopen, really, because it's so small. I don't know if you've ever been, it's tiny.
No,
So
not
it's
not
never
yet.
going to reopen with any social distancing kind of eating. So we made the decision to offer some takeaway and cans.
It's a
So
smart thing to do. Smart thing
yeah,
to do.
well, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so before we kind of get a deep dive in, I'll send you some questions through that hopefully
Yes.
will enlighten a few people about the background of Verdant. I think it'd be interesting to kind of hear your story. How did you start in the beer world?
So the story, how did we start? I started home brewing really badly because I was at the time I was a designer, spending a lot of time working in the States. So I was drinking a lot of beers in the States that I couldn't drink at home, were very different hoppy beers. And chatting to people in the States and getting an idea that the homebrew scene over there was pretty big and people were brewing similar beers that you could buy. So, okay, I'll give it a go at home. And so I came back to the UK and started homebrewing. And then James, our partner, I just, like, it was a coincidence. We were chatting. I think we were playing football. And I just heard him talking to somebody else saying he was homebrewing. And we started chatting and we started doing it together. And that was it. It kind of snowballed from there, literally. Started in my basement where I used to live, and he was doing it on his stove at home. I think we bought 500 quid's worth of hops,
Nice.
bagged it all up on my kitchen table one night into like 200-gram bags with a vacuum sealer, and just started brewing single hop pale ales.
Hmm.
So the same beer did that for about a year. Same beer, twice a week we brewed, and we did the same beer with a different hop. And just starting to learn hop flavors and trying to get the idea of what hops we enjoyed and which ones we didn't, and
Yeah.
learning how to not oxidize beer.
Yeah. Nice. And here you are today. For
Yeah,
everyone watching, if you want to ask, I've got a few of your questions written down that you kindly put on the comments. If you've got questions that you need
I
to
should
put, please.
caveat. I've got your questions here as well,
Cool,
and
cool.
I'm just going to caveat. I haven't actually brewed a beer for about 3 years. I doubt anyone would let me near the brewery now to actually brew a beer. But I'm going to answer your questions the best I can. I've asked the guys for some responses as well. So
Oh. Right, well, as I say, if any one of you do have questions during the feed, if you pop them in a little question mark box at the bottom of your screen, it should pop up and I'll be able
yeah, Chris.
to put them up. Awesome. So, what was the first beer that you guys ever brewed?
As a brewery or personally?
Oh, both. Give us an insight.
So personally, James and I really did, cliche as it may be, just start trying to brew Pliny clones. That's what we were doing at home. And then I think the first beer we put through the brewery was probably Light Bulb or Headband. I can't honestly remember. My food's arrived.
Yeah, nice.
But I think Light Bulb was the first beer we actually designed as a brewery, and it's been the hardest beer to brew ever since. And Headband was second, which we're really happy with now. Headband just seems to fly. But yeah, before that it was Pliny clones, which we used to brew down here and then take in bottles up to Bristol and fuck the guys at Small Bar and be those guys handing over our homebrew at the bar. That's how we met.
Take my beer.
Yeah, please. And then just stand there and say, "What? You're not going to drink it?"
We've made this journey. It's not 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is literally how we got the relationship with the guys at Small Bar. And from those journeys, we used to sell all our beer to them. I used to drive up to Bristol sort of once a fortnight with a car full of kegs, drop them off at Small Bar, and then drive home again.
Nice.
Yeah.
How much coffee did you induce on that journey?
A lot of coffee, yeah. To be fair, I was doing a bit of work in Bristol as well, so I used to be able to mix it with the two. You know, we did 3 years, no, not 3, probably 2 years where we all had second jobs. So we were all kind of working flat out. We used to brew. One of us took a day off a week to brew, and then we all packed in the evenings, and we used to sort of finish at about 2 in the morning, bottling. And just, it was crazy few years, that, working out of a shipping container.
Sounds good. I've said we'll get on to that. Points of Brews asked, what food have you ordered?
I got seafood bar. I got some chips, some squid, some cauliflower, and some fish fingers.
Nice. Quite a medley.
Yeah, a seafood medley.
Can't go wrong with that either.
Yeah, good.
How did that all kind of amalgamate into what we now know as Verdant?
So the shipping container thing, that really kind of pushed us. It wasn't, I guess it was after that. We moved to a small unit. James used to run a street food business. So James is my partner, the head brewer. And he had a unit that we shared for probably about a year. And once we moved into there, we bought a bigger kettle. So we were still like 200 litres at this time.
Nice.
Yeah. But we bought a kettle off Elite and 6 fermenters. And then we really started going for it. And then we were literally putting a pallet of beer a month together for Small Bar. Yeah. So at the time, Small Bar had big beer and they were wholesaling as well. So we literally send them a pallet a month up and they'd wholesale it out for us.
Yeah.
And then from the feedback of all that, do you know what I mean? We literally just decided to put more money in and just get a bit bigger. And then we found a new site. We went out to friends and family and asked for money, begged, raised a fair amount, what we thought was a fair amount at the time, and built the brewery in the Blue unit that people are quite familiar with. So we built that site. And then over the years in there, so we were in there for 3 years, we just kept adding fermenters and new bits of kit. We still had all the old dish bottom fermenters, which is essentially why sort of all the core beers remained on 05 yeast. Yeah. Because we never had conicals. So we used to brew double batch of core beer a week and then 4 batches of the IPAs and the more sort of New England stuff that people know us for.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
Yeah, but why Verdant? Where did the
name
for the name come from?
We were sat in a pub. Obviously, the words we know what the word means, and we thought it was apt. But at the time, there was going to be a beer at one point called the Reverend Verdant Green, which is an old, I guess, 30s. He was a 30s Oxford cad They used to sit in a wingback smoking cigars and tell stories. And we were taken by them. We were in a pub that had a bookshop, and we were just taking books off the shelves and trying to find a good name for the brewery. And we found this guy, and that's kind of stuck.
I hope we get to see him on a can at some point.
There is a design out there somewhere in the annals of like our labels. There is one with that guy on it. Maybe we should pull it out.
Yeah, I think, you know, once life gets back to normal and you can crack the doors open on the new site properly, it'll be that'll be a good way to do it. So, what makes Verdant in regards to your, you know, from your start to where you are today? What's your ethos? What makes it a Verdant beer?
What makes it a Verdant beer? Flavour makes it a Verdant beer. Packed full of it. Balance. I think balance is massively, it's always been important for us. It's not just about cramming as many hops in as we can. There's been a lot of work on water and yeast, and generally having an instinct for beer and flavour over science, and kind of like, none of us are really scientifically educated in beer. We're all going by our palates, and that's kind of how we've treated it all along. But maintaining a level of quality, really. We're all incredibly anally retentive, massive perfectionists. No corners cut, ever. So if we're not happy with something, it does go. We get rid of it. But
does that happen often?
No, it hasn't happened for a while, to be fair. We thought we were going to do it a couple of weeks back, but we gave it a bit more time, and it was fine. The new site is proving it's not difficult, it's just very new, and we've got a lot of new stuff in there that we're learning. And lockdown came at a point where we literally got to the point where we were meant to be commissioning, so nothing in the new brewery is commissioned. We got to the point where everything was meant to be commissioned, it's in the room, it's ready to go, and it was lockdown. I'm like, oh, okay. So canning line's not commissioned, it's working and we're using it, but it's not fully commissioned. The brewery is still manual, 100%, there's no automation. So that needs to happen. So we're learning a lot. We're learning a lot of stuff. And I'm, to be fair, with all that in mind, I'm really pleased with what's coming out of the brewery right now. But as always, it can be better. And we can do better. So that's what drives us, really. Until we're so happy with what's happening that we just keep going. I'm going to let the dog out the room now.
Okay, no worries.
Sorry.
That's all right. While we're talking about Beer Wanker putting a question, would be fascinated to learn more about the difficulties of moving to the new site and its impact on your output and distribution. I
got to take my hats off to Rich. So Rich is the third director in the business. Rich literally removed himself from the old brewery at Unit 6 and embedded himself at the new site, Unit 30, for a year and project managed that entire build. So by the time all the team and the staff moved over, it was ready to go. And he did a phenomenal job on that. Absolutely amazing. So in terms of kind of downtime, we haven't had any. We literally, I think we had Christmas. So we had Christmas off, and James and Rich were in the new brewery, I think just after Christmas, and they did a few brews, just testing the kit, and all those beers have been released. So they went out. I'm just trying to think. I don't think we've dropped a batch on the new site yet. So everything's gone out. Maybe one got oxidized that we had to let go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been pretty good. And bar, like, touch wood, dog's back. Barring equipment and sort of failure on stuff, kit breaking, well, not breaking, but us not really knowing how to use it properly, and then it failing. Touch wood, everything's going pretty well. The new site distribution is, you know, I'm a natural worrier. So when I saw the jump in capacity, when you look at it on paper, it's quite big.
Yeah.
But if we, like, you know what I mean? I spent a year doing spreadsheets and looking at it going, it's not that big. It's pretty manageable, and it has felt pretty manageable until lockdown happened. And then lockdown was like, wow, okay, now we've got a cold store full of kegs that we can't sell, and we got kegs coming back every day from people that can't sell them. So it's like that's a worry when I look at that. But can sales are gone through the roof. Like, so it's kind of a weird time we're in at the moment. I think it's the fear of the unknown right now.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to make the best of I say a bad situation. We don't even know what the course of a bad situation is now.
We don't really know what the situation is, do we?
No,
Really?
it's, as you say, it's a day by day thing. But
it is.
That's
absolutely
great.
day by day.
Yeah, thank you for your wanker for the question. So
the thing is, keg sales have started to go up again. So it's really weird. I saw some things on Twitter this evening that there's a big beer garden open in Bristol. People are out on the water, just so. I don't get it. Yeah. I think it's rather irresponsible, but it is happening. People are, I think, a bit bored of this lockdown thing now, and mixed messages from the powers above. So who knows what happened on Sunday?
Chris has asked, could you survive with just can sales without keg if that were to happen?
Well, I think we're going to be running on sort of 50% capacity.
Yeah.
This year, like based on what we were expecting to produce, I think we can run on can only at that level. I think if it went on for much longer, we'd be looking at that and being a bit concerned.
Yeah.
Keg market, yeah, definitely needs. I guess the biggest thinking, and everyone I speak to, I think that people are going to adjust the amount of keg they make.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be long term. Because the can sales are pretty manic right now. And it's also can sales, it's not on big dippers, it's on low ABV stuff.
Yeah.
The pub is now at home. So people want to drink what they would drink at the pub at home.
Exactly.
Yeah. Rather than just stocking up on big beer specials at home. People are buying like we put generally we keep light bulb for local market. And obviously this time we had to can the lot and we put it on the website and yeah, it flew. Like most of the time we put light bulb on our website, people are like, "Meh, where's your dippers?" So yeah, it's interesting. We have to again. It's time. Let's see how long it pans out for.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I find it a bit of it's a bit shit on one side, is because particularly with you guys. So I live in Brighton. See, there was a lot more availability of kegs of yours down here than ever. This, kind of going from December forwards.
Yeah.
And it's, and similarly, we had Daya on a few weeks ago. Likewise with them, it was, you never saw Daya in a keg down here, and then suddenly it was kind of a regular thing. So, I get the panic emails from eBay now. Like, we've got shitloads, we need to get rid of them. Who's got Lindas? Come on, buy some.
I think Bison are going to get some.
Yeah, they had, I can't remember what it was. They had something recently, because they did their special Friday mix, and you guys, I think it was Mary Lou actually.
Okay.
That's so if we look back in your past, both personally and in Verdant, what's the worst mistake you ever made while brewing?
Me personally? I can't even remember. I can remember the worst mistake James made.
Well, he's not on. Share it. Shame him.
So he left the hot liquor on overnight. And we came in the morning and the whole building was steaming. And it looked like it was on fire. And we went in and it was literally raining inside the building. So anything electrical was sparking, tripping.
Nice.
That was interesting morning.
How long's it taken him to live that one down?
I don't think he ever will, to be honest. We keep reminding him.
Yeah, good. Two right.
He owes me a laptop for that one.
Don't forget that one. That has to go on the tab. On the worst mistake, Michael Bucky's just asked, what's your personal favourite beer that you've ever brewed?
What's my favourite? I like Neil Gets Things Done as an IPA, but it changes all the time. It's really hard. I'm currently drinking Pylons. It's the first time I've tried it tonight, and I'm really pleased with that. Track and Field was always a favourite of mine. Headband is a go-to every time if that's available.
Yeah,
I'm kind of IPA pales. I like a dipper from time to time, but generally end of the night stuff.
Yeah. I see. I like to go starter, main, dessert.
Yeah.
That's why
you can never go back to savoury if you start on your dessert.
Well, there you go. I'm gonna put this one. It's not in the questions box, so I'm gonna put it because it's something that I know you guys get constantly. I remember having a long conversation with Brody about it at Brighton Craft Beer Festival.
Okay.
Any plans for Verdant glassware? We have got. I don't want to be mean, but I've got one on use and one ready for the next bit. So
I've got a pallet of the stemless at the brewery, and we put them out. We did used to post them out, and we get so many breakages.
Yeah.
That it just becomes. I mean, we're a small team. We can't afford to have people just monitoring email and trying to manage breakages and resends and sending glassware out. So we just stopped doing it, and we kept it. We take it to events. Obviously, there's not many of those at the moment, and you can get one if you come down and see us, obviously. And we're kind of going to keep it that way. Keep them a bit exclusive.
Yeah.
I mean, people love them. They're lovely glassware. But if you visit the seafood bar, or when we ever get the tap room working at the new site, there'll be abundance of glassware.
There you go, guys. So
we try and send them out sometimes to distributors and wholesalers. So I know Rich at Little Leeds has had some over the time. Beer Paradise have often got glasses in. So
yeah, well, there you go. So what would you put down to the good attributes of a brewer? I know we kind of discussed that you guys are very much palate led over the mathematical side, but what would you say works in a good brewer?
Intuition, perfectionism. Have to be a perfectionist. Never cut corners ever, but use your intuition based on kind of your experience. Building up that experience working in a team. I guess any brewer, if you haven't brewed and you want to become a brewer and you're learning on the job, you're going to learn how that brewery brews. Yeah. So if you would come work with Verdant, you would learn on your feet. You got to have a good sense of humor, be a bit silly. That's kind of a big thing at Verdant is being a bit daft. We like to have fun, enjoy, never worried about making mistakes. Making mistakes is learning, depending on how much it costs. And I think that would be it for me. I think if you're into the beers you're brewing, and you're a perfectionist and you don't mind cleaning a lot, and testing and testing and testing, and having a good palate, learning all the time, have to. That
sounds good. It's a common theme that probably the best tool as a brewer is a mop.
Yeah, it used to be a squeegee, but we've got some lovely floors now. They don't need mopping so much.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they just need spraying down.
I've got a couple of questions about rebrews that I'll kind of just knock out on a kind of quick fire. So, Cataly's Craft asked, any chance of a loud charge rebrew, or if we know that's in the plans for the near future?
If he wants a keg of it, I got about 100.
There you go. Get a Linda.
Can wise, it literally was only out maybe 3-4 weeks ago. So it's not in the current.
Yeah.
We call that seasonal.
Yeah.
So we got kind of categories of beers. We do cores, seasonals, rotationals, and loud charge sits in the seasonal. So it's kind of about this time of year. So it's been done.
Yeah. A lot of people's does Island beer, even Sharks.
I think that's either been brewed this week or getting brewed next week.
There you go. There's going to be a lot of happy people there.
Yeah, so that'll be out in June.
Riverman Booze asked, would you ever consider a dipper version of Even Sharks? And he even suggests a name, even Megalodons need water.
I think Sharks probably has a dipper. You just don't know it exists. But yeah, I like even Megalodons need water.
Yeah, he's got a trademark for that one, I think.
Okay.
While we're on that, is there thoughts of a lager or a tipper in the line?
Lager's in tank. Got a New Zealand Pils in the tank right now. Not fans of tipper, to be honest. So probably not.
Oh, thank you, Chris JP and Mega Handsbar for those questions. Chris has just asked on our recent conversation about light bulb and headband. Who did the label work?
The illustration's done by a guy called Ciro Bacudo from Brazil, and we spotted some of his work in OG magazine.
Oh, really?
Long time ago, yeah, and reached out to him and said, we really like your stuff, are you interested? And he came on board and he did all of our core. Did Light Bulb, Headband, Bloom and Pulp. And Neil and Mary Lou. And Further, if you can remember Further.
Yeah. He's got a definitive style, so you can tell it's the same artist. Yeah. I mean, we had actually a couple of questions about the artwork, particularly with the new beer. If you've had a new person kind of in house, or are you going a new way with your can work?
I've taken on an old friend of mine from design school, James Wright. So we're kind of working together now, me and him. So he's done a few of the new labels. I've still done a lot of them. I don't know which ones they're talking about. I'm just trying to think which ones James has done. What's come out lately?
We've got Pylons at the moment. It's getting a lot of.
I did Pylons. That was my work. I can't remember, but yeah. So yeah, we do have a new guy on board. So James did all the work for Little Summer Beer Bash. Mm-hmm. He did all the design work for that, and then he did the new Sum 50 label. That was it.
Wow. Yeah. Nice. There you go. I've got that in front of me now. That's going to be
yeah.
It looks fantastic. So I give you an open plane ticket, or I fill your car with petrol. You can go and speak to any brewer in the world to do a dream collaboration. I know it's a hard question because you might have already done it.
I have struggled with this, yeah. I've been thinking about it a lot.
Okay, well, how about this? How about if, what beer would you make if there were literally no strings to no cost or anything, and who would you ask to come in and help you make it? That's probably easy.
Fucking hell, that's a hard question.
We're not all just sunshine here. We do throw some flavors in.
I would love to do a goose, something in wood, a lambic of some style.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. Maybe a saison. Something very, very different to what we do at Verdant, but something that I'd love if we had the time and energy to really get our teeth into. Which is probably why we don't try these things, is we know we'd never be as good as somebody else at it.
Yeah.
So we don't sort of try our hand at doing these beers, because I know I can go and get them and they'll be much better over there. Market, Burning Sky, doing a phenomenal job. Anyone over in Belgium, really, Tilkin, Three Fontaine. Those guys I don't know, they do blends, don't they? They don't really collab. So yeah, that would be a tricky one. I don't know, honestly. Years ago, I'd always wanted to do a beer with the Colonel.
Yeah.
We used to be called, back in the day, people used to refer to us as the Colonel of Kerno. But I look at it now and I'd be like, well, it's like it'd be a very similar thing, wouldn't it? It'd be a hoppy beer. So I think Market, Burning Sky would be someone I'd love to go. We've threatened, I was meant to be going to see them this were during lockdown. We had planned to have a visit, but obviously it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I'd love to go down and see what he's doing down there.
Well,
We'll do another round of crowdfunding.
There's plenty of beers we can treat you to when you come down that way. So
yes. See, I've never had a Harvey's.
Haven't you?
And everyone says raves about it. I'm like, I need to try this beer.
Well, I've got a couple of bottles that I can send, but I have to say it's my kid. The swimming pool I take my boy to is literally next door to the brewery, and there's nothing quite. That getting it from source straight from the tap is exceptional.
Yeah.
Do Rooney's just asked, would you do another round of crowd? I suppose that's probably a situational question, but say lockdown finishes, COVID's a thing of the past tomorrow. Would it be something you consider in line with what you've done so far to get the new place open, or are you kind of happy with the steam that you've generated with family and friends to plough on?
Well, we did the crowd cube thing early this year. Well, it finished early this year. We launched it late last year. No, I don't think we will. I think we've spoken about it a lot. There's been a lot of discussion about it, and I think for us that bird has flown.
Yeah,
I think we need to generate our own steam now, and I'm confident we can. So I think if things don't go too pear-shaped within hospitality this year, then everything should be good. Obviously, the only thing holding us back right now is we've put a hold on the taproom build altogether. That's stopped. But ideally, we'd like to get that moving again in September.
Yeah.
To get it open for early next year, maybe sort of autumn next year, not autumn, spring. So yeah, that's the only thing at the moment really that is holding us. I think we held on to some of our crowdfund money for that project.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can keep hold of it and we don't have to dive too far into it during these next 6 months. So
yeah. Well, on that, I suppose if we're looking ahead, we're looking at the future of Verdant. So, all touch wood, get the tap room going. You guys get comfortable with your kit. Where do you see the next step? What's the, where it's clearly your heart project. This, like, where do you want to see Verdant go now?
No, it is. I really want us to get a bigger foothold in the local market, and for Cornwall to have a better awareness of us. I'd say we're still pretty unknown down here. If you were to ask anyone, they'd be like,
"Yeah, one stop." If you
ask anyone, they'd be like, "Never heard of them." I want that to change, and I think the tap room will be that catalyst.
Yeah.
The idea of it to be a big community space, live music, lots of outdoor parties, weekends, a family space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people will come and join us, and hopefully that word will spread and people will come down.
That sounds fantastic. But I know Johnny's getting pipelines set up as well, so it'll be
absolutely
a beautiful dive down your way for many a merriment beer of the family.
You used to be able to drink his beer, but obviously now the pubs are closed, they cannot.
Well,
I don't know if you're selling any online.
Yeah, you can get it on Premier Hop now, and it's in some bottle shops as well.
Nice.
Yeah, he's getting out and about. Is good old Johnny.
Some good beers.
Yeah. Oh, lovely stuff. So I'm just going to quickly go to one other. So Wings Beer Fest is just asked, how did the experiment come to be? It's absolute beer heaven.
So the experiment was conceived. We were doing a collab at Pressure Drop when in their new site, and I was just chatting to Graham, and I asked him what he was doing with the old site, and he said that it was just closed and mothballed. So I asked him to take me down there, and we went down and had a look, and I was like, come on, this needs to be a bar. Come on, we need to open up a tap room here. This is ridiculous. And yeah, a month later they were on board and we did it. Just went for it. So it happened, yeah.
I finally got to go. It's been one of my meccas, and I finally got to go for all of this that started. So it was a nice little trip from the Cock Inn round the corner.
Yeah, it's a great location.
No, it's fantastic, and I think my mate got through 2 pizzas, so you can't go wrong with
You try the cheese and Marmite pizza?
No, but I'm a fan of cheese and Marmite, so that's not scary for me. Yeah. It was a good time as well. Fruit car and understanding whole systems, both on draft. So we had a lovely Citra dry. Right.
You usually find some good characters in there as well.
Oh yeah, there was exceptional characters in that evening. It was great. Well, I'm going to be a bit mean to you now. I'm going to pick you up and throw you on an island. You can make it nice or not, but I'm going to say you can only drink one style of beer for the rest of your time on that island. What is it and why?
One style, not brand, not just a style of beer.
Yeah, one style. If you want to give a particular beer that you would take with you, that's fine. But what are you going for and why?
I'm denada about this. And I kind of mentally, my brain went, lager's the obvious choice, just because you can drink a lot of lager. But I'm going to go for just pale ale because it covers a wider spectrum, from just a nice malty kind of base pale on cask, all the way to I would need your signature hoppy Verdant number. So I think pale ale covers more bases for me.
Yeah, sounds good. Have you got a particular pale that's your go-to? If you see it and there's a few that you don't know, you're going to go, I need a steady staple here.
Steady rolling, man.
People that watch this regularly will know that I quite like that one. So,
yeah, I do. I do enjoy steady. Some 50 that you're drinking. Headband.
Yeah, good. And that works. Fantastic.
If I would go for something less aggressive, probably just a Sierra Nevada, just a pale. I like beer, really. I'm not overly fussy. I'm a big lambic fan, and I've got far too much of it in my fridge all the time. But you can't drink too much of it. The Rennies will run out, and you just a pale ale just works. Sitting on the beach with a pale ale. You don't want to be that guy on the beach with a lambic. Trust me.
No. And so you can sit inside in the rain with a pail as well. It's fine. No
exactly,
It's funny you say about the Rennies, because back in my cider drinking days, that was a favourite among the mates. You'd just see a pack of Rennies getting passed in the bar like it was cocaine.
Absolutely,
Keep it down. There's Rennies going.
That was me at, what's it called? The Cantillon Fest a couple of years back. Jesus. I was just like, oh my God, I need Rennies.
So what was the last beer that you had that wasn't one of your own that really stood out in your mind?
Stood out in my mind. You didn't put that bit in the question.
Well, you can pick the last beer, but I think this would be a special one, eh?
I'm going to do both. The last beer I had that wasn't mine was a Wylam, which I had last night. And it was a tipper. And it was just stupid. It was so big and ballsy. It was ridiculous. And I regretted it this morning. But the last beer that really stood out for me was an LHG. They did a West Coast Pils. And it confused as a style. I don't really know what it was as a beer. But it was fucking brilliant. The Mosaic, I think it was single hop Mosaic. 100% Pilsner malt, single hop Mosaic. But I had a 12-pack, and it started with the Mosaic being all sort of sweaty and cat pissy. And by the last can, it was just blueberries. It was amazing. It really blew me away.
So that's what you want. You want that transitional journey, particularly with
absolutely.
Nearly everyone's favourite hop. If you can get the variants,
you can get it right. It's weird. I don't know. I've got a hunch that they may have used some whole leaf.
Interesting. Well, we've got what Electro Mods just asked about the candied fruit flavour that he's picked up in some of your beers.
How do you guys get what I can only describe as that candied fruit flavour in your beers? I don't know. I kind of know what he means, but I think it's just hop profile. And maybe it's the way we utilise our hops. And we don't do anything mega special with our hop utilization.
Yeah.
Really, it's literally a matter of fermentation, crashing, hopping, rousing, crashing, and then transferring. So hops are in there for a very short period, short contact time. We don't use a hop gun. We don't have a cannon. We don't. It's literally just dropped into the top of a fermenter, pellets out of a sack or bucket.
You haven't got a super soak?
I think it has to be yeast and water profile as well. All those things combined, coming together, create that verdant heat kind of. I wouldn't call it sherbet, but I know what he means. It's sometimes it's a bit vegetal, right? Yeah, it's a sweetness, and often it's vegetal. And then sometimes it's quite often melony.
Yeah.
So there's always like these standout kind of flavors. But what I do love is that there's always a good bitterness to finish it off. Make you want to go back for that next slug.
It's the water down there. A lot of people put in the comments as well. It's that hidden track of cracking you've got down in the water. Yeah. So one of the questions I got asked a lot in the comments was about the yeast profile that Verdant used, and whether or not you've had to change things with the new kit, or it's just business as usual. I think because some people have said they've noticed changes in staples like Gus recently. Is that something that kind of
nothing's changed? Nothing's changed at all in terms of the way we're making the beer, the volumes. It's the same yeast, exactly the same yeast. It's literally just the new kit and us learning. Centrifuge is the main thing. Is us trying to learn how to use that centrifuge, and that is going to be an ongoing issue. Well, not an issue, but an ongoing
journey,
practice that we just need to learn and figure out when we get the spin right for the flavor we want.
Yeah.
So that will be ongoing, and I think we've nailed it a couple of times, but we just need to figure out how to nail it 100% of the time.
Yeah, but it'll be exciting to see how we get there as well. We'll get some.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's all learning and slow it down, speed it up. Where do we take the beer from out of the tank? There's a lot of variables in that beast, and we've never had one, so
exciting.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of pressure when you've got a centrifuge to increase. Like its purpose seems to sit on the floor as a beast to increase your yield. But essentially for us, it needs to be a beast that sits there to make the beer better first and not worry too much about the yield. Yeah, yes, obviously we'd love to get more beer out of the tank, but at the moment, let's just get the best beer we can into tank and into pack. And then we can slowly make iterations and movements in making our yield better.
Yeah, sounds grand. Dodzaruni's just asked, what for you, which was the beer that kicked off your craft beer journey?
Pressure Drops, Bosco.
Really?
Yeah, and that was, again, I had one of those at Small Bar in Bristol, and it just, blew my socks off. It was so big and bullshit and bitter, and just like, okay, this was the beer I remember drinking in the States that I want.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, my next question was going to be what would be your favourite tap room, but
I'm in an hour over this, and like barring traveling, I don't really get to many tap rooms. But I think my favourite one in terms of experience and being there is the Howlin' Hops tank room in Hackney. I think that's an amazing space.
I need to go back there. That was the end of a very long night that started with all of the fruit car and understanding whole systems, and then beer merchants, and then I think we ended up at Howling Hops after a couple of other stops. So I didn't drink in the atmosphere as much as I did. I should have.
It's just such a great place, great location, and you're getting beer so fresh out of the tank.
Yeah,
as it should be.
Beer where it can go wrong. Yeah. Except if you watch this dance, I suppose. But you know,
experiment's not bad, you know.
Right, so if someone has accidentally clicked on this and they're going, who's this fat fella and who's Verdant?
Oi, less of the fat, yeah?
Oh, well, I'm wearing black, it's flattering. What beer would you say this you know, they said, right, okay, I want to try a Verdant beer. What's the beer you'd say this is the beer that will tell you what you need to know about us?
I go for Neil. Neil gets things done. I think you start on an IPA that's properly full in the juice bomb category, and then you can go either way from there. You can go down to a pale, up to a dipper, and move around. But if you're enjoying a Neil, I think you've nailed Verdant, really.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Neil, I have a toss-up whenever I get asked about my... So you guys were probably my first obsession in the class, so hence why I was very excited about getting you on. Yeah. And it was a conversation was constantly, is it Mary Lou or Neil? And I'd flip between which one was my... No, that's my Verdant Jam. That's the one. So it's nice to hear that would be the beer that you'd
I actually adore Neil. I think it is the pinnacle for us as an IPA, I think. Yeah. What we want to push out into the world, and we need to do it again soon, I think.
Well, I was just about to say, Dave BV UK's just asked, when's Neil coming back?
It's not on the list at the moment, and do you know why? It's the stupidest reason. I don't know if the label will work on our new labeler, because it's not a standard label. So I need to find some old rolls and just run it through the labeler and see if it works all right.
Well, I speak for the masses. I don't give a fuck what the label looks like. If you put that back in the can, I'll be buying it. So,
does everyone know the story about Neil? I love the story about Neil.
Yeah, go for it.
So Neil and Mary Lou and further, you know, they're like a trio. So Neil is Neil Cassidy of Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test fame, and he used to drive the bus, which is called Further. The bus was called Further, and his girlfriend is Mary Lou. So that was us just being like mad hippie trippers.
If you ever had doubt, look at the can work, and it will tell you all you need to know. To be honest. Oh, that's amazing. So, obviously, there's Instagram, but where can people hear more about what's upcoming, what the future plans are, and particularly with this bonkers situation at the moment, where they can know what's the crack?
Working Twitter and Instagram, really. The blog on the website, we haven't blogged for a long time, but I need to make that change. I'm going to put anyone who's an investor will get a monthly kind of update. I think we've got, personally speaking, I think we've got another 8 weeks of this kind of madness. Yeah. Where I'm looking at my business and like all the people that I've employed in my business are now doing jobs that they're not employed to do. And everyone's helping out and it's amazing. And we just need to continue. What we need to do is lose the kind of panic of being in this weird environment. But I think in about 8 weeks, everyone will realize or figure out what the rest of the year will look like. And we can settle down and maybe start making plans. But I can't see us doing another event this year. Yeah, I can't see leaving Cornwall really for anything. It would need to be really special, I think, or important to get us to leave the county right now. But with that in mind, it's working really well because we are like bedding in as a team again, and we're spending a lot of time together. And I think everyone's probably feeling that at home. I don't know if you've got a family or whatever, spending a lot of time together. All of a sudden, it feels quite good. You're like, oh, okay, I quite like this.
Yeah.
As much as I love traveling around and doing all that stuff, I think after this, it's going to need to be quite important and special to make things happen. Like two a penny beer festivals are going to struggle, I think.
Yeah. I think it's going to come down to it, like you say, it's the team collaborative element.
Yeah.
And also what makes it special, what makes this make not only people like myself want to go, but people like yourself go, well, we want to be a part of that. And I think it'll be exciting to see, because I do think we'll see a change of pace, particularly in the craft beer scene in regards to, right, we've got the staples, and it's just a location change to suddenly, right, okay, what makes this place unique and what can we bring to that? So I am excited for that beer. Like you say, I think I don't think we're going to be seeing that in 2020. No, I think it'll be 2021 will be the plans for it, and we're seeing the same. Where can people purchase a lovely can of Verdant or a keg?
Right now, every Wednesday on our website, So we're releasing 2 beers a week at the moment. Online, there's a good wedge of stock. It is still selling out, but it doesn't sell out till about sort of 6 o'clock in the evening. Apart from that, we are getting as much out as we can to local bottle shops, small amounts to wholesale. So it is getting out there. There is a fair wedge of beer. We're trying not to save it all for ourselves and the website, but you know, that level of work again. That's kind of where I was going with that. I'm looking at my team.
Yeah.
If we sell all our beer on our website, I got to ask all of my team just to pack boxes.
Yeah.
All day, every day. Just put cans in boxes, and they're looking at me going, "I didn't take this job." So yeah, online and around. I think, you know, we get a lot of people moaning that they can't buy our beer. I'll do a simple Google search for Verdant cans. You're pretty much guaranteed to hit 5 or 6 spots that will buy it. Depending on where you are. If somebody's in somewhere that they can't find it, put it in the comments thing, and I'll try and rack my brain to think of someone locally that can help you out. Anyone in a major city or town.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can buy direct. Most online providers, I think in Premier Hop, I know have got cans at the moment.
Yeah, Premier, Rainville, we've got
Rainville, 7 Sellers.
Richard Little Leeds has always got some.
Yeah.
Yeah, who else around? Honest Brew generally get some. So it's always on there. Don't know who else does online stuff. Sam down at Vessel if you're in the southwest.
Lost Hip Hop got some from Scotland to Peckham, so
wow,
you'll find your way. You'll find your way.
It's out there.
Before I let you go for dinner, I appreciate you have basically let your dinner run cold while talking to me.
No, it's fine, man. Yeah, it's cool.
Is there anything you'd like just to say to people that are you know, watching the Verdant journey, have a random situation? Go for it.
Thank you. Thanks for supporting us, man. And just we're doing what we can, and we will keep doing it. And we appreciate the support, like 100%. It's amazing. Every Wednesday, we're all just in tears. Just like the support is phenomenal. Absolutely, it blows us away every week. Honestly, every Tuesday, I'm like, okay, it can't be the same as last week, and it is. And I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, your appetite is phenomenal.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I don't know if that's an indictment on us as a nation or a compliment.
Yeah. As somebody sent me something today, says that your lockdown alcoholic name is your first name followed by your last name.
And it's fine. It's fine. But well,
fine.
The majority of people that be watching this, we're not alcoholics. We're enthusiasts who blog about beer. So it's fine. It's absolutely
following a passion. It's fine.
Exactly. But well, thank you so much for giving up your Friday evening to speak to us.
No, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
No, well, it's been great to have you. I look forward to seeing you. So what's next? And hopefully we'll get you back on when all the dust is settled and we can start planning for exciting times ahead.
Absolutely, let's do it. Awesome. Thank you.
Take care of yourself,
cheers,
buddy.
Guys.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye bye.